tech businesses, everybody loves to talk about sales and marketing, but then forgets the CS, because like the CS needs to be in there, because one of the impacts is like, oh, hey, if we close X amount of business, which translates into Y amount of customers, hey, how many onboarding resources do you have? Do we have enough CSMs? Like, what is the mix of those? Is this kind of a one to many model, or is this a one to few model because they're large enterprise clients? Like, the CS equally needs to be able to understand what is going to happen in that so they can resource plan accordingly.
And a lot of our listeners don't have the luxury of all those titles. They might have a salesperson or two
Yep.
and a marketing communications director. They haven't elevated yet to VP positions. They want to get there, and they need to establish the infrastructure to get there. How do you break this down for them?
It's a phenomenal question. So a couple of different ways that I would break this down. So what happens in most organization is everybody is doing department-based capacity planning, meaning the sales is doing their own, marketing is doing their own, CS is doing their own. There's a great book by a guy named John Maxwell. It's called 360 Leader. And one of the key points he brings up in the book, he talks about anybody can lead regardless of title. And so, let's say you're a marketing director or marketing manager, so on and so forth, and everybody's doing their own specific kind of like department-based capacity planning. Get people in a room together, build out the model that is an interconnected model that essentially shows, hey, look, in order to close $1 in Q2 of next year, when does the pipe need to show up? Do enough BDRs to soak up that pipe? Where's that? Like, get people in a room together, start having that conversation. It will take some time, but like just getting people in a room together, there's this amazing thing that happens by just like getting people in a room and starting to have the same conversation. Oftentimes people realize, oh, I didn't realize you're working on that. Or, oh, I thought an MQL was defined as this. You will be able to uncover those types of conversations. And once you have that kind of V1, V2 of the kind of all bottoms up go to market model, then you need to bring in the executives, the CFO, the CEO to actually have this, hey, does this align with your expectations, the board expectations of our growth for next year?
And what is the best way to set up a system so that data is interconnected?
It's such a good question. It's part of the reason why I started earlier with kind of how we think about RevOps as strategy, process, tools, data enablement. In a perfect world, you want some sort of, like, we call it a system, a system of record, right? Like most cases, it's your CRM. And typically interconnected with that CRM will be a marketing automation platform, and you may or may not have a CS platform. And then there'll be other things kind of interconnected. But you want the core, the majority of that data flowing in and out of your system of record so that you can then pull it. So a couple important things here. We talked about the definitions. Everybody needs to be on the same page about the definition. You want source of truth reporting. And what I mean by that is I know we keep picking on our friends, the MQLs here, but if you have an MQL report of, hey, let's show month over month MQL reports, like anybody needs to be able to pull that report at any given time, and it's the same report and there's no issues with filters or things like, so you need system reporting there, and you want to be able to document that. So you want to have the same definition of stuff. Things need to be interconnected so data is flowing in and out of those systems. You want a system of record, and then you want source of truth reporting.